Hey, how you doing? Arthur Wu here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at an interesting offer from Tiffen, the Lowel Blender XL. First, I just want to say thanks to Tiffen for sending me this light to check out. You might have seen my other review video of the Lowel Ego LED, which I actually love. It's the light that's lighting me as my key light right now, and pretty much the light I'm going to be using for my YouTube videos moving forward. I really think that anyone who is using any key light for their YouTube videos, or even a desk lamp, really take a look at this particular light because it's awesome. I'll link it in the video here. All right, so onto the Blender XL. I was really interested in checking this light out because I was so impressed with the Lowel Ego that I wanted to see what this light was all about. Now, the first thing I noticed is that it is a really small light in a compact package. And I really think that Tiffen tried to run the gamut with this particular light in terms of using it in studio applications as well as in the field applications, because you can run it off of AC power from a wall socket, or you can put the P-tap power adapter on it and run it off of the battery. So the first thing that actually stood out to me when I was checking this light out on Lowel's website was that it has more output than a 1x1 LED panel, which I thought was interesting because every now and then I will use a 1x1 LED panel just for like really quick run and gun type situations. Maybe it's like a documentary style shoot or something like that. It's the kind of like the most lightweight, quickest thing to do. And so this thing was actually a lot smaller than a 1x1, so I was curious to see how it would compare. So during the course of this video, I'm just going to be taking you through different scenarios that I ran through and see what the results were. I've already owned a bunch of film lights, and I find that I don't really need any more key lights. I love the key lights that I have. What I found is that the smaller lights, things that accent, whether it's like the set itself or the talent, those are a little bit more challenging because you have to really control those particular lights. And so I really think that the Blender XL can find its way into my workflow for certain situations, such as a backlight, hair light, or a kicker. So if you take a look at the, I'm looking at my monitor here, if you take a look at the light that's right here, that's actually coming from the Blender XL, and it's only about like at half power, and I'm at f3.5 at ISO 800. So it has decent power coming out of it, and that's just a tungsten setting. There's actually two different controls you can turn up and down just based on the color temp and how much power you need out of it. So there's a decent amount of power coming out to match your key light. And so since we're here, the first scenario that I wanted to run you guys through is what this looks like as a particular kicker or a backlight. So I'm going to go through and turn off some of the lights here so we can see how the whole thing functions. So this is what all the lights are. I have my key light coming from up here. I have the kicker, which is the Blender XL here, and I have the lamp in the background. So I'm going to turn off each one at a time, and then we'll take a look at how each one is affecting the image. And so the first one I turned off was a Blender XL. You can see that this light here is gone. Now it's really popular nowadays and over the past several years actually to not actually have a backlight or a kicker. You know, if that's mostly an aesthetic choice. Sometimes I go without it, just depending on the mood of the piece, especially if there's like a window or something behind that's a little bit brighter. Sometimes you don't always need to pull the talent out from the background. So, however, in this particular case, the background is a little flat. There's nothing really happening with the shade back there. So I do like what the kicker did for drawing this side of my head out into the frame a little bit more. So let's turn off the lamp now and see what that looks like. Okay, so this is with the lamp off. I'm looking into my monitor right now. I'm just kind of noticing it looks really plain in the background. However, because it's a lot more dim now, but you know, I really liked what all the lights were doing. So let's go ahead and turn off this key. I'm going to turn the Blender XL on just so you guys can see the difference in what the lights are doing. All right, so this is just with the kicker. You can see that it's by itself, it doesn't look like it's doing a lot. However, when you turn that key light on, it really it's a subtle thing that adds a little bit of pop to the image. I'm gonna do a split screen on the actual video here, and you'll see what the differences between the three are. I mean, I personally like what the kicker does here just because, again, it does draw out a little bit of interest from this part of the frame just because behind my head, there's not a lot going on. Once the light kind of falls off from the lamp, it's just like this plain area that's not really doing much. So it really depends on what you're trying to go for in the particular image that you're creating. And you know, if you're working with a small crew, maybe it's just you and a lighting person or a camera assistant and you have to pack light, this is actually gonna be very useful because it's just a small light fixture that you don't have to have a lot of stuff to build around it. So let's go ahead and run through some of the other scenarios, and we'll see you back on the main video. All right, so I'm on the street here and I literally have this right in front of me. I was curious to see how much power output it would have on a bright sunny day. It's about 2 p.m. right now, and sun's out. I'm in the shade. I just wanted to see how much I could actually get out of this. So I'm plugged in with the Anton Power P-Tap, and if I turn this on, you can see here it gives a little bit of light for the for both lights. Just the daylight by itself, it's not doing a whole lot, and it's literally like just a foot away, if not even closer to me right here. All right, same type of thing here. The light is literally right next to the camera, basically, maybe a little bit behind. And you can just see this is with it on, and this is with it off. So again, I see a little bit of a difference. It's a small difference, but I don't think it's going to necessarily overpower any of the sunlight if you need to give a key light to your talent. It'll probably work better later on in the day, like a dusk type situation. Before we move on to the next scenario, I just wanted to add that when you're really trying to balance the lights, you're going to be going for much more powerful units, such as the 600D, 1200D from Aperture, or like a Joker 1600 or an M18 or something like that. So I really was just curious to see how much output I could get out in a sunny situation. All right, in this scenario, we're indoors. It is mid-afternoon, about 4 p.m. in summer. And we have the windows here that are kind of backlighting, and then the front, there are no windows. And so it's a little bit dark here in front of the camera. And if we just turn this on, we can see what a difference this Blender XL makes. This is with the light on, so it does make quite a bit of difference here. I am at max power at this point, and just looking at the settings on the camera, f3.5, ISO 800, and 50th of a second, just so you get an idea of the output from this light. All right, it's later on in the day, and just wanted to see what this would look like. It's dusk. I'm at f2.8, ISO 800, shutter 50th of a second. And yeah, I mean, obviously it's a light. When it's dark, it works pretty well. So just wanted to see what it would look like. And I think I'm about half power. Let me just check. Yeah, actually I'm at about a quarter, somewhere in between a quarter and a third power there. So there's definitely a lot of light if you need it for a nighttime situation. This light's definitely going to find its way into my kit. I just love the fact that it's so compact that I can pack a few extra in my bag if I needed to, and then use it for accent lights, such as the kicker, the hair light, things of that nature. So if you have any questions, post them below. And until next time, I will talk to you later. All right, peace.